Dear students, now we will learn another type of control statements. That is the switch case statement. Today we are going to study switch case statements. These switch case statements actually controls the flow of program by allowing the programmers to specify different codes that should be executed in various conditions. In particular, a switch statement compares the value of variable to the value specified in the case statement. When a case statement is found whose value matched that of the variable, the code in that case statement is executed. Just like we have seen in the previous video, like when the if condition is true, the code that is written in that if condition is executed. So the syntax for writing the switch case statement is like you will write switch and in the round brackets you will write the variable whose value you want to check, and then you will add curly braces, and in the curly braces you will write your case statement, give it with the name case. Then you will give over here a label, the value of the variable against which these statements you want to execute. After that label you will over here write the statements that you want to execute, and these statements are executed when the value of this variable is same as that of this the value at the label position. So after each case statement we will add another statement, that is the break. Similarly, if we want to add more case statements, what we will do, let's say, let me differentiate, let it give label 1, and if you want to check another condition, then you can write again case label 2 full colon, then you will write the piece of code that you want to execute when this label 2 or the value of variable matches the value of label 2. Similarly, after this statement you will add a break and then a semicolon. After adding all the cases you want to have in the switch statement, you will add a default case in which you will write the code that is run when none of the above condition is true. So this default the code in the default case will be executed when all the cases above this default statement are not true, is not true. So what actually I am going to tell you is that suppose we have a variable, let's say we have variable x and it has some value, let's say it have a 10, and when we are going to check different conditions, like if I say that if x has a value of 5, then red LED should turn on. If it has a value of 6, the green LED should turn on. Or if it has a value of something like, let's say a 20, then the yellow LED should turn on. So for that, what I will do, that I will pass this variable, like let's say if I name it like variable, I have variable and given it some value, and this variable will be written over here. And now what will happen, that this switch statement will execute all of its cases by checking the value of this variable. So in case 1, what I will do, that let's say that if the variable has value of 10, then what will happen, red LED turn on. And if the in the case we will write, let's say if the x has value 15, then I say that what will happen, that green LED turn on. And similarly in the default state we can write that when both the above conditions are not true, both the above cases are not true, then what will happen, that yellow LED will turn on. So this is our statement in which the switch statement will check the value of variable, and it has two cases, that when the variable has a value of 10, then what will happen, that red LED will turn on, and if it has a value of 15, green LED will turn on. And if the variable has value other than 10 and 15, then yellow LED will turn on. Now the break statement is very important, because this will actually tell the controller when a break statement is reached, it will exit the switch statement like this. Let's say if it has variable value of 10, it will execute this statement, will turn on the red LED, and then it will break this statement, and the controller will leave all this piece of code without executing this code, and will try to execute the lines of code that are over here after the switch statement. So let's do some practical. Let's comment this, all the things that we have studied over here. Let's save our work. Let's go over here. Over here I have written over here the int x is equal to 10. So in the loop statement we will write our the switch case statement, in which we already studied the syntax. We will write SWI switch, and in the round bracket we will tell the value of which variable we want to check, and we want to execute our code. So we want to check the value of x. Against that x value of x, we will decide what should happen. Then we have this curly braces over here. In the curly braces we will write that case. Our first case is that we say that if x has a value of 10, then we will write full colon. And what will happen, that we already know that the digital write function is used to write 5 volts onto the microcontroller pin. So over here we will write the red LED is connected to pin number 13, comma, and high, and we will then add a break statement to tell the microcontroller that if this statement case 10 is true, then after turning on the red LED it will break the switch statement. Next case we will write that if x has a value of 15, then what will happen, that the microcontroller will turn on the green LED. Green LED is connected at pin number 12, and comma, and high. And after this statement we will add a break statement to tell the microcontroller that if x has a value of 15, turn on the LED, the green LED, and then break. And if the x the x don't have a value of 10 and 15, then what will happen, then we will add a default statement to tell the microcontroller that if both the conditions that are mentioned above are not true, then what will happen, that it will turn digital write. We have connected yellow LED at pin number 7 and turn it on. So over here we have written our switch statement. So let's save our work. Let's run the simulation. Let's click on this, and you can see that red LED is on because X has a value of 10, and when this will go to switch and it will check or pass over here value 10, and then in the case it will check which label has the value of 10. As our first case has the value of 10, so this will turn on the red LED, and after turning on, the controller will check there is a break statement. Then it will exit the switch statement and will start to execute the code that is over here. And let's say let's stop the simulation and let me change the value to 15. Let's check what will happen. Let's save this and let's run the simulation. You can now see that our green LED is on because X now has got the value of 15. Over here when it checks that case 10, it's not, the value is 15 now, this isn't true. Then the microcontroller will check the next case that says that if the X has a value of 15, then LED green will be on. Now we will check if the X don't have a value of 10 and 15, and let's first of all stop the simulation, and let's say X has a value of 5, and let's save this. Now let's run the simulation. Now you can see that our yellow LED is on because X has a value of 5, and in our both the cases there is only the value 10 and 15, but there is no case that has a value of 5. So our default statement is executed, that is to write to turn on the yellow LED. So in this way the switch statement works, in which you assign a variable and you write different cases. In that case and break statement, you write the piece of code that is executed when that particular case is true. And then after writing all the cases, you write a default statement in which when all the above cases are not true, then that default statement is executed. So hope you have understood this concept. The next thing, let's say if we don't add a break statement over here, let's remove this break and let's save this and let's check what will happen. Now you can see that actually we have X value of 5, that is why it's again running executing the default statement. So let's first of all stop this, and let's say if I give a value of 10, now what, let's see what happens. Let's save this, let's run the simulation. Now you can see that there is no break statement over here, and the controller executes both the statements. The pin that is a red LED, it also turns red LED on and also turns the green LED on because there is no break statement over here. Then after doing this all the checks, then it will turns on the goes to break statement and then exits the switch statement. So let's again add break. Let's stop the simulation, save our project, and let's again run the simulation. So we have X10, we have a case 10, and we turn the red LED on. So in this way you can also use switch statement. So till now we have studied control statement, the if statement, then we have studied the if else statement, then we have studied if else if, and then the else statements, and now we have studied the switch statement in our control statement related sections.